Hello everyone, I'm Paul. Welcome to the Hobby King Live YouTube channel. In today's video we got a pretty cool product we're going to take a look at. It's the Turnigy 2-wheel drive 1/10 scale brushless desert buggy. So let's get started and take a closer look. Here's how the Turnigy Desert Buggy came shipped in a nicely decorated box. Inside the box you'll find that the Desert Buggy is nicely packed with a lot of foam and bubble wrap to protect it during shipment. I've now taken everything out of the box, and as you can see the buggy is pretty much fully assembled. And along with the buggy you get a nice instruction manual and an antenna tube included in the bag. One last item also included with this package is the decals that were inside the instruction manual bag. Now let's take a closer look at the actual buggy. As you can see, it has nice large front tires, has a sturdy bumper, and it has fully adjustable shocks. These shocks are oil filled. Here's the quick overall view of the rear side of the buggy. Again, you'll find nice large tires here and fully adjustable suspension. This Desert Buggy includes a brushless in-runner motor rated at 3300 kV. It's also listed as a 3650 size motor. Alright everybody, I've taken the cover off the clutch and the gears. As you can see, it's a 64 pitch spur gear, and I definitely checked the lash between the two gears to make sure it's not too sloppy. If it's too sloppy, it'll wear out the spur gear real quick. Mine was a little loose, so I did adjust the motor and tighten it up. Now let's take a look under the body of the buggy. Basically it's held on with 4 pins. There's one up here on each side of the front. There's also one on the back on each side. And it's also clipped on here with the little roll cage. So we're going to pop that off and take a closer look. Here's a view of the front side of the vehicle. You can see there's a standard size steering servo and also a nice steering servo saver. This vehicle also includes a 35 amp ESC that is rated to an 85 amp burst. It also features reverse mode. The ESC wires already have an XT60 connector pre-attached. Here's an overall view of the battery tray. As you can see, it has a nice plastic cover with 2 retaining pins to hold it on. Here's a quick view with the battery tray cover removed. And as you can see, the brushless ESC is attached to this battery cover. Alright everybody, we finished taking a closer look at the Desert Buggy. Basically you will need a few more parts to finish this vehicle that are not included with the kit. You'll need at least a 2-channel transmitter and receiver, and also a lipo pack rated at 2S at 4,000 to 5,000 milliamps. So let me get this car all put together. We'll take it out for some test drives. Alright everybody, the Turnigy Desert Buggy is all ready to run. So I'm going to go take it out to my backyard and run on my backyard track and see how it performs. Alright everybody, we got the Desert Buggy out here. I've got my GPS on it. We're going to do a couple runs up and down the street to see how fast it goes. So let me just reset the data. Okay. numbers we got.
Okay, this is on a 2S pack with stock gearing. Looks like the maximum speed was 29.7 miles an hour.
Alright everybody, we finished up the test drive for this Desert Buggy. So now I just want to go over my thoughts and initial impressions of this RC vehicle. First off, I'd say this RC vehicle offers a pretty good bang for the buck. It has a nice brushless system included with it, and it's ready to receive your battery, receiver, and transmitter, and then it's ready to go. I did have a lot of fun driving this RC vehicle on my really small test track in the backyard. It's not the greatest track, but it did prove to be a lot of fun going over the jumps and the little bridge I have back there. Doing this though, I did notice that the suspension was a little bit rough and it probably needs some adjustment. Maybe even changing the oil in the shocks to give it a little bit better dampening. But overall, it's not a bad little car to take out and do some bashing in the backyard. So in the end, this Turnigy RC Desert Buggy does earn some pretty high marks. I'd probably give it 7 out of 10 stars. It definitely scores high in its bang for the buck value, and it earns about average marks for its suspension and overall handling. I'd recommend it to anybody who's really into getting out and doing some RC bashing, more than getting out on the track and doing a lot of racing. Alright everybody, that'll pretty much bring us to the end of our close-up look at this Turnigy Desert Buggy. Please remember you can find this cool RC car on hobbyking.com, as well as many other cool RC related items.